Ludus Vulpes.
Welcome to Ludus Vulpes. My name's Kirsty.
And Phil?
Yeah, I am here. Just here, behind this box. Today, we're going to run through our initial thoughts and no setup of Descent, Legends of the Dark.
Welcome to Terranoth, a generic fantasy world created by Fantasy Flight Games to set their fantasy-based stuff in. Don't expect wildly original monsters or creatures in this particular fantasy world, but there are many things that you should expect. This is Descent, Legends of the Dark. This is not Descent 3rd edition, apparently, although it is the third box to have the Descent title on it.
This is Act 1.
And this is, in fact, Act 1.
Let's remember that.
So, shockingly, Fantasy Flight might be releasing expansions to this. Yeah, they will. They absolutely will, and they should. Descent Legends of the Dark is a fantasy-based dungeon crawler, and there are a lot of fantasy-based dungeon crawlers around at the moment, including Gloomhaven, and I'm sure that'll come up in conversation later.
Let's move on.
Well, let's move on. So, we're not going to do a setup,
No.
partly because the game sets itself as you go, because the game plays through an app, and the app will guide you through your scenarios, guide you through your builds as you build your little dungeons to crawl around in. I guess a dungeon crawler.
It's delving.
Sorry, dungeon delving. It is dungeon crawler.
Dungeon delving adventure.
Oh, sorry, it says it on the box, dungeon delving adventure. And the wonderful blues and oranges, which is gorgeous.
Stunning. Some of my favourite colours.
What's really odd about this box? Well, it comes in 3 parts, which is interesting as boxes go. There's a lid.
Nice. We
Yeah.
like that. We like that because we like to show what we're doing.
Yeah. There's
Don't give it away. Don't give any secrets away.
There's some construction instructions. That's interesting.
Colours in the rule book.
You even get a lore guide to tell you a little bit about the background of Terranoth. Were you not familiar with the background of Terranoth, which, unless you've played other Fantasy Flight games set in Terranoth, you probably weren't. And then there are the obligatory buckets and buckets of miniatures, and that's great.
Why not?
Yeah, and let's just start getting things out and putting them on the table. There are literally buckets of miniatures in here.
Here you go.
Thanks. This one's like some kind of like big dude, and these kind of just spread out around here, and yeah, it's kind of, there's a lot in there.
Yeah.
And then it's fine, we're doing okay. There's a top box.
Okay.
And there's a bottom box.
I mean, that's just snazzy.
Just overboxing.
So well thought out.
And the bottom box, when it arrives, you open it and there's nothing in it, because all of this 3D scenery,
which is beautiful,
which is lovely actually, and is relevant to gameplay, I would say. Including some stairs to go up or down. Stairs can be used both ways. A little skeletal dragon, we have no idea what that does yet, we've not encountered that. And then
sure,
over,
makes that noise.
yeah, and it's probably more like meow, I would say.
Lovely little door
over in
to
that
go through.
over in that box, we've also got the floor tiles, and Kirsty can give you a little show of some of those floor tiles.
So, for example, here, cobblestones, strange grasslands, we have decking, but also
You can set up your own like chalet and
really
stuff.
nice. Yeah, I mean, chill out, relax, enjoy yourself. There's the bit island to talk about, probably right at the bottom. Also, what's really nice is rather than giving you thousands and thousands of unnecessary tiles, pop in a few bits of card, they fill in the gaps. Perfect.
Yeah, and it looks like you've got like a continuous board, which is really nice. And
nice,
they yeah, different effects like water slows you down, fire hurts you. Like,
violent pins. Don't
Yeah.
want to be landing on those.
no, they spike you.
They hurt.
Yeah, they're fine. A little bit of lava, like that
Don't
hurts too.
burn. And grasslands.
Yeah,
That's nice.
that's more meadowy.
Yeah, we like that.
It's more swamp to be fair, but
I like
anyway.
the swamp, okay.
So this is Descent, Legends of the Dark. It's 180 quid. You probably won't pay £180 for it, but yeah, that's retail. It's a lot of money to be spending on a box full of bits of cardboard and plastic. So I like to take a couple of moments to just explore the plastic, because as a hobbyist, and by hobbyist I mean someone who enjoys painting miniatures, these are good. Like, these are really good. Yeah. These are hard plastic. They're not little soft resin pieces, which does mean they're maybe a little bit more fragile, but just handled with a little bit of care. But from a painting perspective, the detail on these compared to to resin miniatures is off the chart good. And so I'm incredibly looking forward to painting these, and I'm sure we'll do some painting videos.
Oh yes, we better.
Yeah, and to track different units, you've got these little coloured bases that you slot in, and for those people who might be colourblind or struggle with the colours, although they've picked pretty good colours, there's also little grooves, so really well thought through. So yes, the plastic is fantastic. It's quite literally. It's really high quality casts. Really great miniatures, and to go with that, you've got all these little bits of cardboard scenery.
And it's really nice actually to like go up the stairs and back down the stairs.
I want to know where you're going with this sentence.
Yeah, but let me just find examples. So there are multi-level columns. So you can go up one level, you can go up another level, you can go halfway levels.
Yeah, you can jump down.
Yeah, it's not just, oh, we'll have one story high. There is variety in it.
We have a missing piece of equipment to play this game, which is typically our laptop, which will sit over there away from us, and we'll play and we'll click on that. And there is a lot of app integration with this game, and that's, for me, is fantastic, because it means admin is taken away, and it means that all of these things you can interact with as well, without having a separate deck of cards that guide you through it. Those of you who've played Journeys in Middle-earth, or like I guess even the Imperial Assault app, or the other older Descent app, some of that will be familiar, and this just takes it to like the next level in app integration, and it works really well, I think.
Yeah, it does. It's not something that I have done a lot of, but it's brilliant. I think the way in which it enables characters to build their backgrounds, their responses, the way, what's the words? I can't find the words.
Are they in that book?
No, I don't know. Okay. When you get to shape your character.
Yes, you do. You make decisions on their behalf.
Yeah, and it changes who they become, and that gives you so much more than an aforementioned game that's already been talked about very briefly, and we moved on from it today. So yeah, that in itself, I could tell you the whole story. I could tell you exactly who we're doing, for what we're doing. I'm not going to, because I'm not going to give any spoiler alerts. But the trees are great.
Kirsty loves climbing trees.
I do. Yeah. Something I can't do in real life. I'm too short. So.
And the way the game plays with characters is really nice as well. Instead of like sticking you with a single character, you can flip between characters. Yes. So different scenarios, you can go in with a different character, and flipping is important, because you'll also be flipping your weapons cards and your character cards for new abilities, and it brings in a mechanic about exhaustion, and you spend the
blood, sweat and tears,
quite literally
shaped into an orange foxtail
thing
shape. Blood, sweat and tears.
But you will spend that exhaustion to enhance your abilities, to do more on your turn. And then you might have to flip your character card. Flipping your character card might put your character in a less favourable position, but you need it to push the exhaustion or clear negative effects, which will start to stack up. It's a really well thought out game. Yeah. Really well.
There's archways as well.
There are archways. You could argue that it's just a dungeon crawler with an app, and it's very easy to say that, but actually Fantasy Flight have put a lot of time, effort and commitment into this game, and it is absolutely fantastic. The quality of the components, Fantasy Flight produce great components anyway, we all know that, but this is pushing their levels higher than I've seen them before. The colours are great, and they really stand out. It's not just
in the box. I mean, the box, I was just like, oh, when we went to pick it up, and I was like, oh Oh, I love it already. Before I'd even looked at it, like those colours pop.
Speaking of the where we got this game from, Battleground Gaming UK.
Yes.
Thank you, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe. It was great to pick it up from you guys.
Yeah.
Now,
definitely worth going there and checking out the store.
Yeah, they're stocking a lot more board games than they used to.
Yes.
Now, sorry, this is not an advert for Battleground Gaming UK.
But check them out.
But check them out. Now, this is Clear Act 1. There will be more. The app has got quite a lot of content already in there. There's a lot to play through, which is great. And we are working our way through the campaign, and we will continue to do so.
Yes.
We will be putting some painting videos out showing you how
Yes.
to paint these miniatures, so you're not playing with, it's not grey plastic in this case, it's kind of beige plastic.
Slay
The beige.
I'd usually say slay the grey, but I need to come up with something else that rhymes with beige.
You do. And so ultimately this is a dungeon crawler. You are going to be putting and building maps. You'll want to keep your tiles organised and ordered so that you can quickly find them and put them on the table.
What's really nice is there's only about 14 tiles.
Compared to what are you comparing that to?
Gloomhaven.
Okay.
No. So there's only about 14 tiles, so it's really easy to keep them all in order, logically use them. And use them, my God, you use them.
Yeah, and actually with a limited tile pool, actually Fantasy Flight have done a great job in creating quite large maps and quite large areas. And actually, I think it's worth talking about scenario design, because we've played 3 or 4 scenarios now, and we've had a huge amount of variety in scenario design and scenario outcomes. So it's not just walk into a room, smash everything you see and walk out again.
Yeah, or steal that.
Or steal that and run out again. There's a lot of sort of rescue missions we've played. We've played a sort of conversational mission.
Yes. Yep.
There's a lot more. There's a lot of good scenario design.
An exploration mission, which was very fun.
You did not like that.
I did like it.
In the end.
Yes.
But the scenario design is fantastic. It's varied. It gives you new challenges. And it grows with you as you play the game. So the app just leads you and takes away all the admin that you might have. So it does things that a lot of games potentially couldn't do. So it adds like little percentages here and there to the damage or to your ability to do tasks well. And because the app's controlling that in the background, it means that you don't have to worry about little boosts here and there. And it's really good.
You can upgrade powers and weapons. Which is quite a nice thing to do, and rather than you having to calculate it all,
it does it for you.
Yeah, it's nice.
There is a crafting mechanic, so you can sort of collect stuff to craft your own equipment and upgrade characters, and
it's worth checking everywhere for stuff.
Yeah, if you've got time, check as many spaces as you can.
Yes.
Now, the cost is prohibitive, but then the cost of a big dungeon crawler is prohibitive. You can look at almost any that are out there, whether it's things like Massive Darkness, big Kickstarter, Gloomhaven, another big Kickstarter. Dungeon crawlers tend to be expensive. There tends to be a glut of minis. This is going to become expensive. It already is expensive, but there are going to be expansions. If it follows Fantasy Flight's sort of standard patterns, there'll be a big box maybe every 6 to 9 months that'll be released. And it'll be maybe a quarter of the price of this one.
Gonna need another Calyx.
But it does spread the cost of the minis. It does spread the cost of the plastic and the terrain. So and you can decide how far you want to go. The other plus is they can release more downloadable content, digital content into the app without releasing more plastic, more cardboard.
Yeah.
So actually, you've got that opportunity. They've got the opportunity to release, and you'll probably have to pay for a little bit for the content, but they've got the opportunity to release new scenarios, new interesting scenario design without making you buy a whole new box. So hopefully they'll follow that path. But overall, so far, Experience the Descent, this is my favourite dungeon crawler, and I've played quite a few now. We are also working through a Gloomhaven campaign, but this stands out as a shining example of everything a dungeon crawler should be. And the app is not intrusive and should be welcomed.
Okay, so my thoughts are, I quite like the music that's in the background. It's there and you're aware of it, but it's not intrusive in any way, shape or form. I like that. I love the fact that you not only got a game that you can enjoy and go through, but there's hours of fantastic hobby time here with the painting. So obviously miniature painting is something that I've got into probably since
lockdown.
Yeah, lockdown really, and it's something that I really enjoy doing, and I'm looking forward to splashing some colour onto here because I think it'll be really nice, and just to give them all a bit of a personality. Yeah,
we'll record the painting for you guys so you can follow along at home and get rid of some of your dull plastic
and greys and you know, we've talked about the quality of the miniatures. We've talked about like even the cardboard is really good quality. The way that it's built is worked out well. The box design is a brilliant idea. Why not?
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's just going to get trashed if you put it in a normal size box. This allows you, if you wish, to have a larger box and to separate everything. You don't have to do that, but it's a really good idea. So there's so many things that this game does in its gameplay which I can't discuss without spoiling scenarios for you, and I don't want to do that because that's not my style. But you will get so much more from this than aforementioned game.
Just say Gloomhaven.
For me, yes, we are completing a Gloomhaven campaign, and that's great. But it always feels quite samey. Whereas every single one that we've done of this feels so different. It has its own personality. There's so much more interaction between the characters, between other characters that appear, should we say. I don't want to say too much more, but you do actually feel like you are changing situations with the choices that you make. And that's not just, oh, should we shoot this? Should we do that? Should we go left or right? It's actually impactful, changing the mindset and the characteristics of the character and also other characters that are within the game.
And interacting, it's well thought through.
Yeah, and as I've said, there's so much more story with this one that is retainable.
Agreed.
That I haven't got from Gloomhaven, unfortunately. It's not from not paying attention. It's just, it seems to be the city events or the road events seems to be, should we do it, yes or no? And it's like a 50-50 which one the group chooses. Whereas in this one, there's a lot more interaction. There's a lot more characters have to really...
Decisions feel more meaningful.
Yes. That's probably the best way of putting it. So I think this is a great game. It's fantastic use of colour throughout. The dice are lovely bright colours. I can't think of anything that's wrong with this.
Other than maybe the price. But I think it's actually... I think it reflects really great value for money. And I genuinely believe it does. There's hours of gameplay in this box.
Yeah.
And that, for me, if you look at a game as being cost per hour, and if you finish a campaign, that's an important thing. Like you can buy a big Kickstarter and never finish the campaign, whereas here I think it will be a relatively pain-free task to complete the campaign, and then maybe even go back and play it on a harder level. It's
interesting because at one point we had to slow ourselves down from just going scenario because we were enjoying it so much.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, it does.
For me. Whereas every 2 weeks we play Gloomhaven and it's like, oh, Gloomhaven's coming again. There's a different mindset to it.
Yeah, you enjoy the game once you're sat in and playing it, but actually it doesn't have the same...
It doesn't suck me in.
Yeah, there's a level of addiction.
I don't feel like I interact with the game in the same way that I do with this one. That's probably my honest thought.
So, hopefully this has been an interesting, informative, useful video. Maybe you'll rush out and buy Descent now.
One thing I would say is if you think, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money, if you go out for a nice meal and go to the cinema, nowadays that's going to be not
four
cheap.
people, four people, a nice meal and a cinema. It's about 100 quid.
Yeah, so just imagine how much more you're going to get out of this. Although you're going to have to cook as well.
Yeah, but that's what I like cooking. So hopefully you found it useful. Hopefully it's given you at least an incentive to have a look at Descent.
Yeah. Feel free to drop any comments or questions that you have about the game. We'll happily answer any. We just don't want to give too much away for those that are either hoping to buy it or currently buying it or currently working their way through it. We're just not wanting to ruin it and spoil it for people.
So please, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe.
don't forget, we're also on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Just search for Ludus Vulpes.
Thank you for your time today.
Thanks everyone. See you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye.